I'm here with Phil Schreier, Senior Curator of the National Firearms Museum. And Phil, we can't possibly talk about all these firearms in one segment of the Curator's Corners, but we're here to talk about it's summer and it's a great time to get out and see the National Firearms Museum while you're here in the D.C. area. So we're sort of made a little mini museum right here at NRA News Studios. Tell us all about what's happening here out for the summer at the National Firearms Museum.
John, first let me thank you again for having us out. It's always a pleasure to be here on the show. The National Firearms Museum, which has actually been open since 1935, so we're coming up on a milestone anniversary here soon, is open 7 days a week. It's free of charge. We're open from 9:30 in the morning until 5 in the evening, Sunday through Friday, until 7 on Saturdays. And at the museum right now there are 15 exhibit galleries that trace chronologically the history of Americans, their firearms. The subject of freedom and liberty is a common theme throughout all the galleries, showing America's unique interaction with firearms. They were instrumental in helping us gain our independence and maintain our freedom ever since. And we've put together a lot of neat pieces over the years.
Oh, absolutely, and it's just a small example of it. And this is a good kind of a timeline here of different things from different periods. But that's what you see when you walk in the museum, Phil. You start with the history, and you start from some of the very first firearms, and work your way through. It's very well laid out. It's ingenious the way you guys have set it up out there.
Thank you. It was a couple years in the making when we moved from Rhode Island Avenue to Fairfax. When we made that move, we wanted to be sure that we gave the public something that could actually be used as a teaching aid in an educational institution. Before, we just had a cool collection of guns on display, and those were all donated to us, which was wonderful. We're very appreciative. Even today, out of 5,500 guns that we have in the collection, all but about a dozen were donated to us. So we're very beholden to our members and our friends out there that have made those possible. And as a result, we have guns from 1350, a hand cannon that was, used during the siege of Tannenberg, all the way up to some of the more modern M4s and Beretta M9s that are being used in Afghanistan and Iraq today. Some of the interesting guns, we talk about this volcanic on an edition of the Curator's Corner. It tells you about the development and the corporate history of Smith & Wesson and Winchester, because both of those firms are tied up right here in this one gun. Self-contained cartridge, the development of the .22 short round, the development of the Winchester, the name Smith & Wesson Winchester, all rolled up into one cool little gun right there.
And there's so much history tied into any one of these particular firearms and all together, and it all kind of comes together out there at the Firearms Museum, where you're talking about the different world wars with the Lugers or the Derringer and that whole development of how that all happened. There's so much history packed into any particular firearm.
There really is. A lot of people say, well, if this gun could only talk. They talk. You just have to understand what they're saying and how to coax that out of them. But people talk. Each one of them has got a story that goes beyond, well, that's just a P08 Luger made, in 1918.
Well, no. Much more than that.
Oh, yeah.
Much more than that. And it's a great place. We're talking. It's summertime now in D.C. and a lot of people come into the area. And if you're anywhere in the D.C. area, even further out on the East Coast, you need to get down to Fairfax, Virginia, and see the Firearms Museum, because you guys have things online and are working on a great new online website you're going to roll out soon. But it's really something to see them, to be able to go out and just look at them and see them in person.
Thank you. Yeah, we really think firsthand experience is always best. We have a new exhibit in our William B. Ruger Gallery this year called Guns West: The Way It Was, the Way It Is, the Way It Could Have Been, which chronicles some of the more interesting firearms that were used in the American West that are currently used by single-action shooters today, and were also used by some of our silver screen heroes of the movies and serials. So that's something that changes annually, and this year. It's a great cowboy exhibit. We hope people come out just to see that, if nothing else.
And that's just the feature, besides all the other regular galleries. And then there's some cool stuff, which, you know, not that a kid wouldn't love it, but just to keep the kids interested too. There's a fully operational shooting gallery out there, a kid's room complete with, you know, Howdy Doody and a record player and a Red Ryder BB gun. And
what
just
everybody wishes their room looked like during the Daniel Boone and Davy Crockett craze of the late 50s.
There's a lightsaber from Star Wars.
Yeah, absolutely.
A couple Clint Eastwood's Dirty Harry's Firearms, and then you got Tom Selleck's Quickly Down Under. It is just loaded out there. Tell us more information when people can get out to the National Firearms Museum.
They can come 7 days a week, free of charge, from 9:30 in the morning till 5 in the evening, Sunday through Friday, open till 7 on Saturdays. They can visit us online at nationalfirearmsmuseum.org. And like you said, we got a brand new website coming up, and that should really knock your socks off.
Yeah, we'll keep people informed about that here on NRAnews.com. That's an exciting project you guys are working on. We're eager to see that roll out as well. Well, Phil Schreier, once again, thank you for bringing these treasures to us and for housing the treasures out there at the National Firearms Museum. We appreciate you being here every week for the Curator's Corner.
Thank you, John.